Alright guys, we're looking at US counties that are larger than US states. So how many counties in the US are larger than the smallest US state? Now the smallest US state is Rhode Island. Let's have a quick look at it here. It's in the northeast, it's tiny. How small is it? It's got a total area of 1,214 square miles. Now that includes water, and if you don't include the water and you just include the land, it's 1,045 square miles. So very small for a state. And here we can see it on the map here in the northeast. It's zoomed in. It's really small, even compared to Massachusetts. Like Massachusetts is a really small state as well, but Massachusetts is way bigger. And even Connecticut here right beside it, Connecticut is way bigger than Rhode Island, and Connecticut is one of the smallest states in the union. So that'll just tell you how small Rhode Island is. So are there counties in other states that are larger? The answer is absolutely yes. There are very many, and even if you just look at the map here quickly divided into counties, Rhode Island is this tiny little state over here. And just look here in the west, there's tons of counties here that are larger. You can just see, just looking at the map here, they are way larger. So what is the largest county? Well, let's have a look at some stats first. 45 out of the 50 states in the US use counties. We have Louisiana that uses parishes. Alaska uses boroughs. So parishes and boroughs work in pretty much the same way as a county. A county is an administrative region just below the state level. Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island, some of the counties in these states do not have governments, but they are called counties, even though they don't have any government authority. So there are 3,242 counties and county equivalents in the US, and that includes the US territories and District of Columbia. So bear that number in mind, 3,242. So how many of these are larger than Rhode Island? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But first of all, here is the largest county or county equivalent in the country. It's the Yukon-Koyukuk census area in Alaska. It's absolutely gigantic. It's got a total area of 147,805 square miles. That includes a couple of thousand square miles of water. This is the total of just land, 145,000. And here it is on a map of Alaska. Covers a huge area. So let's have a look at some of the statistics here. The area is roughly the same size as the US state of Montana. Now we'll look at that in a second. The country of Germany. So let's have a look and see how large Germany is. It is 137,000 square miles. So it's actually larger than Germany by about 10,000 square miles. It's absolutely huge. It makes up about a fifth of Alaska. Now that'll tell you just how huge Alaska is. That Alaska is more than 5 times bigger than Germany. And this county is 1/5, and it's absolutely huge. So that'll tell you how big this borough is and how big Alaska is. Now in terms of the counties that are actually classified as a county, the largest is San Bernardino County in California. It's got an area of 20,000 square miles, or just over 20,105, and it's got a tiny amount of water, so the vast majority of it is land. Here it is in red, and here is all of California. So it covers a pretty large proportion of Southern California. It runs kind of from the east of LA. So there's Los Angeles. So east of LA, we see this huge metropolitan area here, and this county, San Bernardino, it's got the city of San Bernardino, and then some other areas here in between San Bernardino and LA. So this area is going to be heavily populated, but then this huge vast area is sparsely populated, and it runs all the way to the Nevada and Arizona borders. So this is 20,000 square miles right here, San Bernardino County. Let's have a look at the largest counties in each state. But before we do that, here are the number of counties in each state. So Texas is the second largest state in the US. and it has 254 counties, so it makes sense that it has a large number of counties. Now, a lot of these counties here are actually pretty small, and we have some larger ones here near the Mexican border. So we'll compare those counties to Rhode Island later. And then there's a huge drop off to Georgia. It's got 159. So Texas is 95 counties more than the second highest, which is Georgia. So a crazy amount of counties in Texas. And because even though Texas is huge, because it has so many counties, the counties in Texas aren't actually that huge. Like, the biggest counties are not that large. Now, here's a map of Delaware. Delaware has the least number of counties for any state. It's got 3 counties: Newcastle, Kent, and Sussex. Delaware is a tiny state. It's not that much bigger than Rhode Island. Now, Rhode Island itself has 5 counties. But again, none of these have local government. Local government is provided by 8 cities and 31 towns. So even though it has 5 counties, it's got no administrative authority. So let's have a look at the largest counties in each state. So we're going to find out how many states have a county that's bigger than Rhode Island. So we begin here with the Yukon-Koyukuk census area. Again, massive size. And then we have San Bernardino County in California, which is 20,000 square miles. And we have some more states here: Arizona, Nevada, Wyoming, and Oregon. All have at least one county that's over 10,000 square miles. Now we're going to scroll down here to Lycoming County in Pennsylvania. Has a square mileage of 1,228. And then next we have McLean County in Illinois, which has an area of 1,183. So this is the cutoff point here. So Rhode Island is in between these two counties in terms of area. Now, up to including Pennsylvania, there are in fact 30 states that have a county larger than Rhode Island. And here's the map showing the number of states. There's 30 of them colored in green. Here's Rhode Island colored in yellow. We can see just how small it is. And all these states in green, 30 of them have at least one county larger than Rhode Island. So the next question is, how many counties are larger than Rhode Island? So here we have the answer. Rhode Island, as we said, it's 1,214 with water. Without it, it's 1,045. So this guy here, he does a map and he reveals that there are 504 counties that are larger than Rhode Island, including the water. And if you don't include the water of Rhode Island, that number increases to 622 counties. So his map shows the 504 counties larger than Rhode Island, including Rhode Island's water. So as we can see here, it's a tale of two halves here, because look at all those counties in the west that are larger. All those colored in red are larger than Rhode Island. All the ones in white are smaller than Rhode Island. And we can see all these large states in the west have huge counties, some of them much larger than Rhode Island. Here's San Bernardino right here. And the state of Arizona here. Now, Arizona only has 15 counties. It is a really large state, but because it only has 15 counties, they're all pretty large. So all 15 counties of Arizona are larger than Rhode Island. And the same applies to Wyoming. Wyoming has 23 counties. Again, Wyoming is a very large state, and all our counties are larger than Rhode Island. Montana, another huge state, it's only got 5 or 6 counties here that are smaller than Rhode Island. And I believe Montana, I could be wrong, but I think Montana has the most counties larger than Rhode Island, because Montana has 56 counties. Let's have a look here at the number of counties. So Montana has 56 counties. As I mentioned, Arizona has 15 and Wyoming is 23. So I think roughly 50 counties in Montana are larger. Now Texas has, it says here, there are 42 counties in Texas that are larger than Rhode Island, which is up there amongst the highest. But because Texas has so many counties, the vast majority of Texas counties, about 80% of them, are smaller than Rhode Island. As I said, Texas is huge, but because it has so many counties, many of them are smaller than Rhode Island. Let's have a look at the East Coast here. A whole bunch of states here in the East don't have a county larger than Rhode Island. Florida has some, New York State has some, and Maine has quite a few here. Maine is actually quite a big state compared to states in the East Coast. The New England states are mostly small, but Maine is pretty big. And now I'm going to show you another map, and this has the counties larger than Rhode Island, not including the water. So here we have 610 counties. Now this guy is saying here there's 622, so a slight discrepancy here in the number. But regardless of that, again, the map obviously is going to be very similar. But now we have some more counties here. You can see them in the east. Now look at South Carolina. It's got 5 or 6 counties here. And on this other map, there are no counties larger than Rhode Island. So if you don't include the water, then we have more states larger. Now, Pennsylvania, again, it only had 1 on the other map here. It's got 7. And then there's some more in New York State and New Hampshire that are larger. Basically, the bottom line is Rhode Island is tiny, and there are 504 counties larger than Rhode Island, if you include the water. Now, I want to go back to these statistics here for yukon-koyukuk borough. Look at the square mileage of land, 145,500 and 147,800, including the water. Now, look at this here. Montana. It's got a total area of 147,000, not including water, and not including water, it's 145,545. So almost identical to the Yukon-Koyukuk territory. The total land area, the total area including water, land plus water, is slightly over 147,000. And for Yukon-Koyukuk, it's almost 148. So it's slightly bigger than Montana. And let's have a look at this map here just to show you. We can see Montana here. This is almost exactly how big Yukon-Koyukuk borough is. It's absolutely gigantic. So never mind it being larger than Rhode Island. It's obviously orders of magnitude larger than Rhode Island. It's actually larger than the vast majority of states. It would rank in 4th place, just higher than Montana. So only California, Texas, and Alaska itself are larger than this like massive territory in Alaska. It's absolutely crazy. Let's take a look at San Bernardino. See how big this is compared to states. So San Bernardino, if we scroll down to the states, so it's just over 20,000. So here's the cutoff here. West Virginia is 24,000 square miles, and Maryland is 12,500. So a big gap here between Maryland and West Virginia. West Virginia is almost double the size of Maryland. So San Bernardino is larger than Maryland, Hawaii, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Connecticut, Delaware, and of course Rhode Island. So it is larger than 9 states. And also the next 4 largest counties. So we're talking about actual counties, not including the districts in the boroughs in Alaska. So these counties are all larger than the 9 states I just mentioned. So Coconino, Arizona, 9 Nevada, Elko, Nevada, and Mojave, Arizona are all larger than the 9 smallest states. So that's how big these counties are. So they're all larger than Maryland, which is 12,500 square miles. I guess this one here is probably the largest one in Arizona. And we have a huge one here in Nevada. So these are all bigger than like even New Jersey and Maryland. And here's a statistic here. 17 of the 19 boroughs of Alaska are bigger than Rhode Island. So actually this map doesn't have Alaska or Hawaii, but this one does, and this is not to scale at all. Alaska is like much bigger than this compared to the 48 states. And here we can see all these reds are larger than Rhode Island. Just to sum up, these 504 counties larger than Rhode Island, not including the water, 622. So Rhode Island is tiny, and some of these states are huge and have huge counties. And so US geography, when it comes to the states and counties, it's just so unbalanced in terms of land area. It's pretty crazy to think that all these counties are larger than Rhode Island. And even, as we mentioned, states like New Jersey, they're smaller than 5 counties. It's crazy. Okay, guys, so that's it for this video. See you guys next time.